Hey there, cinephiles. I know it's been a while since I've been on this channel, about 7 months, but I promise it's been for a good reason, and that reason is the Next Screen Podcast. The Next Screen Podcast features me and my two co-hosts, Chris and Alyssa, and our producer, Maria. We talk about movies, we do reviews, trivia, and so much more. If you haven't heard us or watched us yet, we can be found on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and if you want to watch us, we also have a YouTube. The link will be in the description down below. But alright, that's enough of a plug of a wonderful podcast that you should be watching and or listening to. Let's get into today's video. I will be going over my favorite movies of 2021. 2021 was an interesting year for movies, as there were a lot of great moments in films that ended up just being okay or forgettable. However, that being said, it was a better year than 2020 because we got more movies, but it wasn't as good as the year 2019 was. That being said, I still had 15 movies that could have been in my top 10. So before I get into my top 10, let me go over my honorable mentions. My first honorable mention is Licorice Pizza. This is Paul Thomas Anderson's latest film, and it shows. It's a forbidden romance told in the typical Paul Thomas Anderson style. It's shot beautifully, almost like a dream that I would gladly be in for hours on end. Also, Alana Haim has a wonderful performance, and I'm excited to see where she goes next. That being said, there are some racist jokes in this movie that have no place in it, and it really baffles me how this got past the first draft. Also, Bradley Cooper's in like 5 minutes of this movie, but he is one of the most chaotic things to have graced the screen in 2021. My second honorable mention is Mitchell vs. the Machines. This is a Netflix animated film from the minds of Lord and Miller, which in case you don't know, these are the guys behind Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Into the Spider-Verse, and the Lego movies. That being said, this is one of the most heartfelt and comedic movies of the year. It's very well animated. It's very of its time. There's a lot of meme culture jokes in this movie, which might date it down the line, but there is a fantastic scene in which Furbies are involved, and is one of the most out of left field things to have come out this year, and I love that scene. This is a great watch with the family or just by yourself if you want to have a good animated time. My third honorable mention is The Lost Daughter. This was Netflix's latest film of 2021, and it was the directorial debut of Maggie Gyllenhaal. It is a powerful and moving portrait about motherhood that I feel like might get better as time goes on. Olivia Colman and Jessie Buckley have wonderful performances of the same character in this movie too. I highly suggest watching this film as it's on Netflix right now. My next honorable mention is Belfast. This is Kenneth Branagh's latest film, and it depicts a family during a rough time in Belfast, Ireland. This movie is honestly a celebration of life. When I walked out of the theater, I just had a big smile on my face. This movie hinges on the performance of the lead actor, who's a kid actor, Jude Hill, and he knocks it out of the park. I honestly would not be surprised if this movie was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. And now for my final honorable mention, The Tragedy of Macbeth. This is the best shot film of the year by far. Its remarkable composition delivers such striking and memorable imagery. It has wonderful performances from Denzel Washington and the whole cast. Just touch up on your Shakespearean English before you watch it. Alright, now for my top 10 films of 2021. Number 10. This film has somehow elevated the song Bye Bye Bye, and that film is Red Rocket. This is Sean Baker's latest film, and for those that don't know, he made The Florida Project, which has been one of my greatest inspirations. So I was incredibly excited for Red Rocket, and now that I've finally seen it, I can say it delivered. You're watching this terrible but interesting person go through a downward spiral in his life, but it's so engaging and funny. There's great performances from basically everyone on the entire cast. It's shot very well, and honestly, it's just overall a well-made film. I encourage you to check it out before it leaves theaters. Number 9. At number 9 is a film that honestly would have been way higher if it wasn't for one aspect that I dislike about this movie so much. However, this film is still much better than the original. That's right, this film is West Side Story. This remake improves on every single aspect of the film except for the casting of Tony. Ansel Elgort was severely miscast, as his performance sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the rest of the cast. I will say his singing was very well done, but everyone else's performances were so good. Meanwhile, for Tony, I almost chuckled in some serious moments. I can't wait for Ariana DeBose to possibly win an Oscar for playing Anita, which Rita Moreno did so long ago. Also, this is definitely the debut of a star in the making that is Rachel Zegler. Number 8. Judas and the Black Messiah is an incredibly important film with wonderful performances from Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield. Now, due to last year's Oscars change, due to the panoramic, this movie already had its Oscars run, and it rightfully won Best Supporting Performance from Daniel Kaluuya. However, this was still a 2021 movie that I could not leave off of my top 10 list. It's a heartbreaking and sobering watch that deserves to be seen, and it's on HBO Max right now. Number 7. The other day, I put a question sticker on my Instagram story asking what is your favorite movie of 2021. The movie I put in this slot was the overwhelming answer to that question. So I know some people are going to complain that this is too low. That's right, it's SpiderMan No Way Home. This is a great Spider-Man movie, and it solidifies that Tom Holland is the best Peter Parker Spider-Man. And it does a great job of cementing Green Goblin as the best Spidey villain. I cannot wait for more Spider-Man movies, especially if they're as good as this. Number 6. Coming in at number 6 is the most Wes Anderson movie that has ever Wes Anderson, and that is The French Dispatch. This movie has exquisite production design and interesting stories. Of the 3 stories in this film, I really love Benicio del Toro's and Timothy Charmander's stories, as they both deliver such captivating segments. The 3rd story, starring Jeffrey Wright, was the weakest of the 3, but it still had a great animated sequence. This movie's already out on Blu-ray and rental, so go and check it out. Number 5. The latest Pixar film is all vibes and feelings. And right after watching it for the first time, my friend and I went straight to Olive Garden. Yes, I am talking about Luca. This film deserved a theatrical run, and I will forever be mad that it never got it. It is gorgeously animated and is a fantastic tale, pun intended, of friendship and acceptance. And Santa Gorgonzola, this movie makes me want to go to Italy so bad. Number 4. Dune is my 4th favorite movie of the year, and even after seeing it twice in the theater, I still wish I saw it in IMAX. This film is a spectacle in every sense of the word. It's shot well, it's part 1 of an epic space opera, and the score. Hans Zimmer just goes so hard in this movie. And to tie it all off, it has great performances from every single person on the cast. Except one. I cannot wait for 2023 to come so we can watch part 2, and hopefully it's as good as this, if not better. Number 3. This film gets better and better every time I watch it. My 3rd favorite movie of 2021 is Encanto. The themes this movie delves into as a Hispanic movie is very mature and pretty well handled. There are a few times where the film holds your hand a bit too much, but the themes of family trauma and the dynamics within the family are explored in an interesting way. The songs also age like fine wine as they build the plentiful characters that make up this film. I highly suggest anyone and everyone to go to Disney Plus and watch this film right now. Also, this movie will win Best Original Song, but not for Let's Talk About Bruno. Number 2. This is a film that gets better and better every time I watch it. Deja Vu. My 2nd favorite movie of 2021 is Tick, Tick, Boom. I first saw this Netflix movie in the theater, which was an interesting experience, to be honest. I legit had an existential crisis watching this movie, as it touches on a lot of themes and problems that creatives have, as well as the big theme of losing time. Plus, this movie has one of my favorite, if not my favorite, performance of the year, which is Andrew Garfield playing Jonathan Larson. There's catchy and wonderful songs in here, and this is an emotional film that will stick with me for a while. Number 1. Finally, my favorite movie of the year was made my favorite movie of the year while watching it in the theater. And objectively, I feel like I can say this is the best film of 2021, not just my favorite. And that is Come On, Come On. It stars Joaquin Phoenix and Woody Norman, and it builds such a beautiful connection between the two. This film may be in black and white, but it is so colorful and joyful and rich, and I feel like it would restore your faith in humanity. Writer-director Mike Mills tells such a stunning story that I am so sad I haven't been able to see it since. If you can find this film somewhere, please watch it over and over again. Alright guys, those are my favorite movies of 2021. Let me know your favorites down in the comments below. Or even if you want to put least favorites, feel free to put that down in the comments below as well. Thank you all for watching, liking, and subscribing. Please don't forget to go over and support the Next Screen podcast. And as always, stay tuned for more Yeti Films content, and I'll watch you later.